You're going to say something about it, if recollectedness done properly involves seeing yourself in feeling rather than the feeling in you.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's the same principle as it always is. Recollectedness of the body. Usually, when a person starts doing the mindfulness of the body, it's sort of, I'm attending to my body, and I'm mindful of the body. I'm bringing myself back to the body. So you put yourself first, your point of view first, your attentions first, and then it finds the body because you were told you should do so. But the more you do it, if you do it correctly, if you start to understand that actually it's not about you attending to the body, but discerning that the body is there so that you can attend it, and it's that knowledge of what's already there. So you already in a way start seeing as yourself within the container of the body, including your own thoughts, your own feelings within the necessary basis of the body, not other way around, as in body exists only when you attend to it.
So it's like, so being mindful of the body, you're kind of undermining that sense of self.
Yeah, you're fixing the perverted order of me first, body second. By fixing the order, you're directly exactly undermining that primacy that you have completely assumed.
Primacy.
Sorry. You completely assume.
Yes,
like you're first. I'm my point of view, and then this or that, depending on what I choose. But the knowledge of the recollectedness is the knowledge.
Yes.
Of that necessary base of the body that endures regardless of what you attend to.
Yes.
So it's discerning that, and if you discern that, you see that you are within it, as in you cannot be outside of it. It's inconceivable. When you think outside of the body, that's within the base of the body enduring, that provides you with this experience. And then the same comes down to the feeling as well. See, when you're mindful of the feeling, it's immediately, because it sort of appears, or one of its characteristics kind of distant, or more remote, or less perceivable, so to speak, which means kind of you assuming it's kind of inside.
Yeah.
Inside of this body, or inside. Inside. It's inside of me.
I've got a feeling in my head.
So I am that thing that has feelings.
Yes.
But if you learn how to discern it as something that endures, regardless of whether you attend to it or not, you get to see that feeling endures, and you are the one who goes left and right, up and down, in terms of your thinking or actions or choices. So you start seeing yourself fully enclosed within the feeling. So that's another layer of that primacy being removed.
Same principle.
Same principle,
You're just
taking it on a different phenomenon. And then the same, like mind, the mood you're in, you would be regarding it as I am here and the mood comes and goes.
Yeah.
But I remain here, and it's just I have different moods. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Mood is here and you are second to it. But because you always seem to be the same to you, to yourself, you assume that that's what stays unchanged. But doesn't matter how unchanged it stays, it's always dependent upon the present enduring mood. It's always dependent upon present enduring feeling. That's what the Buddha asks, if the feeling is yours, when this man said, feeling is mine, I'm the owner of my feelings, that's where myself is. And the Buddha said, well, which feeling is it then? Because there are three types, so you can't have them all three present, so which means you have no say in their arising and enduring. Yet here you are regarding as if you are the first, you are in charge, you precede them, you rule over them. So same with the moods, moods come and go. No, they don't actually. Moods come and go would be if you can step outside of yourself and see moods come and going. You always have a mood enduring, which means mood is always there.
There's always one mood.
There's always one mood, there's always one feeling.
There's always one body.
There's always one body.
There's always one image.
There's always one image, exactly. Within which you are in. So if you start seeing yourself second, doesn't matter how much you feel like you're the one that does an unchanging phenomenon, doesn't matter. If you still discern the mood that's presently enduring and then see yourself within it, not other way around. And that's already, you're kind of aligning things rightly. So now the mood endures, you don't have to think about it, you can then do other things, and the mood is still there, and you don't have to keep attending to it either.
Yeah.
You can just every now and then look back, and is that mood still there? Yeah. Or what mood is still there? So the mood is there. Some mood has to be there.
Yeah.
Good, elated, depressed. Something has to be there in a
Yeah.
state of mind.
So whether the mood has changed, there's still mood.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, you don't need to. Oh, I must observe how the mood changes. That's completely irrelevant.
Yes.
What's relevant is that mood is there, and you're second to it.
Yes. So mindfulness, we calling it recollectedness.
Mm.
That seems to be a really good way of naming it, because it's about recognizing something that's enduring.
Yeah.
And in order
And
to
then
know-
recollecting it every now and
yeah,
then.
because in order that's the thing. In order for you to, to recognize that it's enduring,
Mm.
you have to. There has to be that kind of not staring at it.
Yeah,
attitude.
exactly. Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
staring at something,
Yeah. Well, if you're staring at something, you put yourself first automatically.
you are, aren't you? Yeah.
And then the endurance of that thing, it's secondary. It's
Yeah.
dependent on your attention.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's why mindfulness, I use this because people can relate to it, but I don't like it because it's more associated with that attentiveness.
Yes.
I'm attending to this fully. I am mindful of this.
Yeah. So you can only know the thing is enduring if you're staring at it.
Yeah.
Whereas that's actually
It's the opposite
It's
of
the other way
recollection.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
completely the opposite.
Yeah,
So like what you attend, you can only attend because the thing already endures that.
yeah.
Before you attend it, and you know it, which is why you choose to attend it.
Yeah.
But if you keep prioritizing your attention of the body, and not the knowledge that that body is there, because if
Yeah.
I ask you, do you still have arms, and you don't, wait, let me check.
Yeah.
You will know the answer.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to learn how to discern that knowledge that you already know of
Yeah.
what's already there, that sort of precedes, at least structurally precedes, as in it comes first, within which you can attend
Mhm.
and choose and so on. And that's how you stop assuming outside of yourself. That's how you stop maintaining that the whole notion of attavada as well.
Because
By putting the
because that
second
self is
As
second,
first
yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
meant to be first. But you are putting that which is first as second because you put yourself first.
Yeah.
Or your point of view, or your attention, or your choice, and so on. So if there is a present feeling enduring, doesn't matter how distant, how small, how pleasant, how unpleasant it might feel, you regard that as this is the basis.
Mhm.
Any movement I make in regard to it is within that basis.
Mhm.
Cannot step outside, cannot spill over, cannot become something else.
Even
something
your
different to it.
knowledge of it.
Everything, yeah.
So that's the thing that occurred to me, that your knowledge of something usually one thinks of your knowledge of I know this, or I understand this.
Mm.
It's something that I have. It's something in me.
Yeah. Again, you are
You
the
put
one,
me
it's this
first,
unchanging
yeah.
factor there.
Whereas actually properly understanding these phenomena is about letting them come first, because that's how letting them reveal themselves as they are. So the knowledge is more in them than in me. The knowledge is just that thing.
Yeah, partially. The only thing is you need to know what to look for. That's where the
Yes.
instruction,
Right. Yes.
external utterance of another needs to come first.
Yeah.
I mean, in rare cases, so somebody can figure out themselves, and that's when they become either Sammasambuddha or Paccekabuddha.
Yeah.
But generally, people need pointers. But then, yes, pointers not to like invent or create this knowledge. Pointers to discern what's there.
Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah.
Now you just know what to look for, and then you get to see it because it's there,
Yeah.
not in you and not your creation. That's the characteristics of the nature of things. All these things we talk about in terms of the body endures that beforehand,
Yeah.
and throughout. Like you cannot, as I said, you cannot sort of disturb that order.
Mhm.
You can pretend you did,
Yes.
and you can believe you did,
Yeah.
but your belief makes no difference to the factual order of things.
Yeah.
Body's first.
Yeah.
Body is your container. Body is the full enclosure. You cannot step outside of it. And even the notion of outside is on the basis of that container of the body.
Mhm.
Like how can you know the outside without the senses?
Mhm.
And senses are completely bodily, which means the notion of outside, real as such, is actually fully inside of the body,
Yeah,
so to speak,
Yeah.
because it's inconceivable without it.
Mhm.
And that's like recollectedness of the body in the nutshell, or just a principle of that recollectedness, sati,
Mhm.
in the nutshell.
Mhm.
Whether it's the feelings, the moods, that's the principle you want to see. That you are within it, not other way around.
Yeah.
And that's how you automatically uproot the ownership. Because usually people try to understand the not self by saying to themselves that this is not self.
Mm.
Look, it's constantly changing, thus it cannot be mine. There is no thus in a direct insight.
Mhm.
There is no delay.
Yeah.
There is no, this, and then because of that, this is the result.
Yeah.
No, it's with this, this is. So with the body first, my sense of self is not mine. Without the body first, my sense of self is mine.
Mhm.
With ignorance, birth, aging, death, loss, whatever, craving, fighting, and everything else that comes with it.
Mhm.
By putting yourself first.
Everything revolves around me.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But you can't decide, I'll put myself second, because you'll be doing that from the sense of self,
Yeah.
of I. So you can then discern what the Buddha said, which is the order as it is, regardless of your ignorance, your belief. And it's like, even if I wish that this is first and body second, even that wish is based on the body being first.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thoroughly understanding that, all these wishes, beliefs, assumptions, ignoring cannot remain,
Yeah.
because they can only remain because you're not looking at them.
Yeah. They're only there based on your assumption that
Yeah.
you can come first.
Mm. And that's what it means. Mindfulness develops to the extent necessary.
Yeah.
The extent necessary for being unable to assume the wrong order anymore.
Mhm.
Being unable to assume the wrong order means being unable to take up the ownership of your own senses, your own aggregates, your own sense of self.
Mhm.
And it also it can be practiced in regardless of the state of mind you're in.
Mhm.
Oh, now I feel very clear, then I feel very muddled, doesn't matter, you say the body's there first. Not at the expense of how you feel. You just want to put it in the right order. Oh, I couldn't feel anything if the body's not there alive.
Yeah.
I couldn't be in this mood if the body's not there alive. And then allow that body there being alive to endure in that peripheral.
So the feeling and the mood is always within the body.
Yeah, but in itself they can serve for the same principle of mindfulness, which means if you're mindful of your feelings, basically you're mindful of your body automatically.
Yeah.
If you're mindful of your mind, you're mindful of your body. If you're mindful of the images and phenomena, you're mindful of your body.
Mhm.
But obviously phenomena are much more subtle to discern this principle. Because see, thoughts are in me. It's just always like thoughts are in my head.
Mm.
Thoughts are there. I have thoughts. And it would be hard to see thoughts as the first, and now I'm within the enduring thought.
Yeah.
The sense of my point of view and everything else is within the enduring thought.
Yeah.
But if you start doing that on the level of the body and maintain it,
Yeah.
thoughts will have to be included eventually.
Yeah. So really, it isn't so much the body or the feeling or the mood that's the important thing. It is that structure, that kind of order.
Mm.
That.
With this is.
Yeah.
Not, with this will be, or with this when this has arisen, then this will come to be, and because of that I cannot have it.
Yeah.
All that is delayed, all that is secondary, and all that's not a direct insight of the Paticamuppada.
Yeah. It's just seeing the ground that makes any sense of self
Discerning
possible.
the ground.
Yeah.
Because see, your non-discernment, your discernment, it cannot be elsewhere except within that ground.
Mhm. So mindfulness is not so much about you must focus on the body, or keep staying with the body. It's just recognizing anything really that's enduring.
Yeah, that's a good starting point. That's what I mean. It's completely the opposite direction of what you're attending at.
Yeah. Anything that's enduring.
Anything you can attend to, it's already secondary to your senses.
Yes. Yeah.
Let alone secondary to your point of view, to your choice, to your own attention. Yet the problem is in the senses, in the point of view, in your wrong attention, ayoniso, manasikara. And you cannot possibly see that because you're focusing. You're focusing on this, focusing on that, which means that which precedes that which focusing is the result of, is completely invisible.
Yeah.
So recollectedness needs to start by discerning what is the basis to it all. Whether you focus or not doesn't matter. This has to be an enduring basis, inseparable from, as the Buddha would say, inconceivable apart from. And you already know that. It's just that we are so dependent on our own choices, attentions, and focusing, i.e. sense of control, that you even turn your Dhamma meditation practice into that control.
Yeah.
And then you hope somehow results will kind of magically pop out of it. But as I said, if I were to ask you, do you still have legs? Are your arms still attached to your body? Yes, immediately you'll say that. So you already know it. If you genuinely don't know it, if you genuinely need to, you would be like, oh, what, wait. You would have to then look and check and find out and gather information. But the fact that you can instantaneously answer means the knowledge is already there. You're just not seeing it in the right light, so to speak. You're not seeing its relevance. Relevance being, that knowledge that I don't need to, that I cannot attend to actually, is there, which is the reason I can attend and choose to attend these different parts of my body and so on, for whatever reasons I might do that. Belief in your meditation technique or whatever. But the point is, I need to have the body first. And it's tapping into that without needing to stare at it, look at it, make it into your object of your focus. Because you won't be that. You can't focus on it. So you can't focus on it, but you can know it. That's like a practical rule of thumb. If you're focusing on it, it's not it.
Yeah.
If you know you're focused on whatever's right in front of me, I'm focused on that. But what else do I know while I'm focused on that? That's how I start developing proper mindfulness. By discerning what you already know.
What is it that makes it possible for me to...
Yeah, what is the necessary base for me? So I'm choosing to focus, I don't know, on that cup. I'm focusing on it, I'm examining it, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about it. I'm even thinking about its significance and use, and maybe I really like the cup, maybe I dislike it, whatever. All those movements of the mind, that's already all second and within. When I say second, I don't mean it comes after. I just mean it doesn't...
it requires, or it...
Yeah, it's second in a structural manner.
Yeah.
Like a second floor is second to the first floor.
Yeah.
But they're both simultaneously there. So you might be focusing at the cup for whatever reason, you're focusing on the cup for whatever you choose to focus, usually things that, well, they determine a currently enduring feeling as well. That's what your attention would be, on the basis of how you feel. So while that's enduring, you check, is the body still there? Is something felt still there? Is the mood still there? Obviously thoughts are still there. Doesn't matter what thoughts and what focusing phenomena. What matters is it's there first. It's already there. It's enduring, which is why I cannot focus on this. And that's how you also get to understand and discover your own intentions behind your focusing, your actions, your desire, your hopes, your efforts.
Yeah, my most personal thing that I can...
Because that intention is always rooted in the enduring feeling, in how you feel, and that has to be there throughout of your endeavors. Because if that thing changes, your endeavor will stop, because motivation is gone. You wouldn't be doing it anymore.
I guess it's quite possible for people to think that a feeling is not necessary, but it's actually... It's just like... Yeah,
because again, they still see themselves at first.
Yeah.
So then feeling is circumstantial.
That's it.
And
so
then you can dismiss it.
This thing that sometimes I'm assailed by feelings.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm not really.
That's when the wrong order has been so perverted and like almost like solidified in that wrong order.
Yeah.
And now that like this is how it is.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need. But
So
then you need to start overriding that,
Yeah.
because again, all you need to ask yourself is, well, are you liable to suffering?
Mhm.
Can you remain truly indifferent to whatever feeling comes your way?
Mhm.
And the only way you can say that yes is if you're an arahant,
Mhm.
which means you would have undone the order, and then you would know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But if you say, oh no, I don't need, like, feelings comes and go, I'm not affected by them. No, you believe you're not affected by them
Mhm.
now because nothing bothers you now, but
Mhm.
you're still affected by the pleasure,
Mhm.
which means you will be affected by the bother,
Mhm.
by the loss of pleasure,
Mhm.
by not enough pleasure.
Mhm.
All these things, as the Buddha described, as the base for suffering. But so you realize, okay, so the knowledge is there already. I'm just choosing to ignore it because it makes me feel unpleasant. The knowledge that I am liable to feelings, which means feelings precede me.
Mhm.
Feelings are more fundamental than me and my ownership of them. And they come and go on their own, in a sense of I depend on their coming and going, yet I have no control over it. Not, oh, they come and go in order to dismiss them.
Yes.
Because people go, everything shall pass. No, it won't.
That's a good way of putting it. I depend on them, but I can't control them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're coming and going.
Yeah.
Whether they're coming, whether they're going, you're affected by that, by coming and going.
Mhm.
So when people say, oh, it's impermanent, it will pass, they do it just to oh, okay, it will end.
To manage it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to manage it,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That cannot uproot it.
Because you're still assuming that
Well, yeah, you are liable to
you're
them
in
whether
charge.
you believe in it or not, whether you
Yeah.
believe else. Otherwise, that is the factual state of things.
Mhm.
They come first.
Mhm.
So unless, and it's same, like with all those similes in terms of sensuality and stuff, it relates to this. Like, oh, you climb the tree in the pursuit of pleasures and so on to eat mangoes and whatnot, and that tree will have to come down. Either somebody will cut it, or and if you don't come down, you will be killed by falling from great height. So same, you are the one who goes into the domain of feelings, the body, through your ownership assumption, or as the Buddha said, like borrowing jewelry, borrowing gold, and then becoming dependent on that pleasure and admiration that you get from it.
Mhm.
But you, deep down, you know, you took it, you borrowed it, you did
Mhm.
not create it.
Yeah.
You are not. It's.
The owner could come at any
yeah,
moment.
well, you know that the owner will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just choose to believe that, like, you'll deal with it. You won't be
Yeah, yeah.
affected by it.
I'll deal with that when that happens.
And usually, if you maintain with that, keep that view, it'll be too late to do anything about it.
Yes. Yeah.
The longer you keep that view, the harder it will be to endure it.
And the more you've
Yeah.
grown accustomed to them.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, so where's the problem now? So I'll start focusing. I'll focus on my body and maybe, like, become familiar with it. No, that's already the result problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you are liable to what happens to the body. You cannot remain emotionally indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to feelings? You cannot remain emotionally indifferent. Moods, you cannot remain emotionally indifferent. Why is that? Because you are still, again, by assuming that you come first
Yeah.
and them second,
Yeah.
you make yourself liable to them.
Yeah.
By seeing it correctly, you literally pull yourself out of it.
Yeah.
You are not anymore engaging with on, and that's why you abandon the Mara's domain. You can't chase Mara away.
Yeah.
You are the one in his property.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, what is, the Buddha said, what is the property of Mara that you take, because of which, everything can assail you, Mara can control you? It's the eye, the sights, the nose, the smells, all the senses. And I was, okay, so it's not mine. None of that can be mine.
Mm.
But it's not about, oh, this is not mine, this is not mine. It's about seeing it coming first, enduring first, being given to you for use,
Mm-hmm.
and then maintaining that context, maintaining that knowledge. Like, I can ask you now, can you focus on your feet?
Mm-hmm.
How you feel hot or cold in your feet?
Bit cold.
A bit cold. So you focus on a particular
That one's
aspect of your
colder.
body.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for you to focus on your feet, to tell me whatever perceptions down there,
Yeah.
if the body is not
wasn't
there?
No, of course not.
Yet you completely
That's-
ignore
I know,
that what
that's
you
a-
already know,
Yeah.
and then start to just, like, I'll just focus, I'll
Focus
just
on
look
that, yeah,
closely
yeah.
and closer and closer, and somehow I'll see the magical reality behind it. So
And
if you find yourself, for example, can't help but focusing on this or focusing on that, you think, I must stop this. No, You just need to see that the body is a necessary basis, enduring while you're focusing.
Yeah.
And then your focusing becomes redundant. You will focus only when there is a purpose to focus.
Yeah.
You won't focus for some projected idealistic purpose of enlightenment.
Some practice.
Yeah.
No, the possibility of the fact that I'm focusing on my left cold foot right now is just one of the options that have been presented by this body.
Exactly, yeah. And the irony of it is, the more you prioritize focusing in order for you to discover your body, the further away from the body you are.
Yeah, you are,
Because your body is that knowledge that precedes the focusing.
Yeah, your notion.
But you are so unaware of it, you have no means of discerning it, that the only way you can get a sense of body is do these body sweeping techniques and focusing of knees and shoulders and belly and top of my head and down. Okay, keep doing, keep moving, and then you get a sense of body. That's already like a secondary second to the sense of body that's a necessary basis for you to even begin that focusing, let alone recreate another image of the body from your focusing.
It's kind of reductionist, isn't it? I just realised as you said that.
Well, it's reductionist in order to rebuild it.
That's what I mean. You focus on this, and then you focus on that, and you focus on that, so that you can add it all together to create this nice little what?
And what remains first throughout that?
The body that makes all that possible in the first place.
Factually. But for the person who does that, it's their sense of self remains first.
Sorry,
Even when they rediscover that body through their cessation watching,
they're creating.
It's still,
I'm going to create it.
This has resulted from my efforts.
Yes.
So I am the first.
Yeah.
So again, comes down to sense of control.
You see, you
comes down to pursuit and fulfillment, which is the principle of sensuality as well.
Yes.
So even if you end up doing that, you're observing senses on the basis of the senses, pursuing it, getting what you want, building what you want, seeing what you want. You're just meditating with your own sensuality, as the Buddha so many times said. And he literally, focusing. You know how people say, you can, like the soldier is focused on his aim, it's mindful.
Yeah.
And often you hear similar kind of comparisons.
Cat.
And exactly, and then you find the sutta where the Buddha says, it's like a cat focused on a hole where a mouse is there.
Yeah. This is
or an owl focused on a mouse, cat on a fish, crane on a fish. I can't remember anymore which animal was hunting which one. But you realize, so it was the hunter's focusing type, like full on focus. There's nothing else exists for me. I'm 100% focused and my aim. And the Buddha said, that is meditating with sensuality.
Yeah.
That because of that, you over meditate,
Yeah.
You cannot meditate because you don't see the background, you don't see the right context for which you need knowledge. So if your practice is practice of focusing, sensation watching, or aiming, or narrowing, you are like a jackal, like a cat, like an owl, like an animal trying to catch its prey. And people think that's kind of lofty. It's like one-mindedness. Yeah. And the Buddha mocked it.
One-pointedness.
The Buddha mocked it. He says they call them, people who meditate like that call themselves meditators, yet here they are, shoulders and head drooping and whatever else. And it's all they do is meditate with their own sensuality. Because you might not be pursuing the sense object in itself, in terms of the common sense objects of pleasure, but you're still pursuing the objects of your focusing.
Yes.
Which means they're still objects of your senses.
So I guess that
so it's still objects of your sensuality.
But that move away from the grosser domain of sensuality feels like, this is wholesome, this is good.
Right. But you only move away from it circumstantially.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the nature, you're still within the same framework.
Exactly.
That's what I said. Doesn't matter how much you do that type of meditation, you're still within the domain of sensuality.
And the danger is, of course, the
danger is you can't sustain that.
Yeah.
You can focus only at certain periods of time, and you can push yourself 8 hours a day, do a 3-month retreat in whatever.
But you develop views on top of it as well.
Of course, you cannot remain indifferent. You cannot remain indifferent. And the fact that you are drilling down in the direction of sensual focusing so far away from the context that's necessary for even you beginning to do it, means the further you go, the less you'll be able to see it.
And so, your understanding of what the body is
it's going to be extremely skewed.
Further away,
As in, exactly. Far and far removed from what actually is there. And you could still technically know it if you were to discern, oh wait a minute, I already know this. Do you have a body? Yes. Okay. Maybe I develop that knowledge without needing to focus on it. But it's going to be harder and harder to do, because each time you choose to double down on your focusing technique, aim at a prey or whatever goal you want, each time you end up investing yourself more, which means you're going to have more views on account of it, more significance to it, and it will be harder to undo it. And same like with the object of my meditation. Like when people ask for the object to focus on, it's literally like, tell me what to hunt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tell me what to stare at, essentially. With the senses assumed first. No. Yuri, come on, man.
Down you go.
Go back. Tell me what to hunt down. Tell me what to watch and observe. Like, not tell me what to understand.
Yeah.
So the object of meditation should be that which you cannot make a focusing object.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So it's about understanding phenomena. The understanding. We're talking about body.
Like, what do you feel anything now? What do you feel? Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. So, did you need to stop sitting, resting your arms, thinking what you're about to think, in order to find out that answer?
That was already there.
You answered immediately. As soon as I finished a sentence, you asked what you felt.
Yeah.
So it's already there.
Yeah.
So learn how to then see what's already there without needing to stop doing everything else and attend to it and find it.
And in doing that, what am I trying to say? You're sort of, it's becoming familiar with something that you can't know by looking at it.
Exactly. You can't observe your feeling.
Yeah.
You can only feel it.
So because that comes first, and I'm fully enclosed within it, it's like I can't.
You can't step outside of it.
I can't.
You can't relate to it.
I can't. No, exactly. I just have to allow that thing to reveal itself.
Exactly. And even when you forget about it, your forgetting of it is within it.
Yes.
That's where you can remember it.
Yeah.
That's why you don't need to. I must always have it present in my mind. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Because your mind, you are a result of it.
Yeah.
You're within it. So you can't choose to hold this presently. No, it's going to be present for as long as it is present by itself, in itself.
So that's what. So to say I know this or I understand this, almost the old way would be I am doing. I come first.
Sure.
But really, when you can properly say I know this or I understand this, it's about stopping doing anything in relation to it and allowing.
Relative stopping, though, like stopping continues. Doing continues, but it ceases to be a doing.
Yeah.
Doing in terms of movement, attitude towards it, that's all within. That's what I mean. Like whether you choose to focus on it or forget about it, all of that makes no difference to it. It's within it.
Yeah.
Discerning that doesn't stop the doing, removes the passion from the doing, removes the wrong order,
but it does stop
removes
the doing
the wrong
in relation to it.
It stops the doings that were dependent on the passion, on the wrong order, and everything else.
Yes.
But doesn't stop all doing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. All you need to do is maintain that right order, that this container of the currently felt feeling endures regardless of if I wave my arms, talk to you, talk fast, talk slow, sit down, go silent.
Yeah.
I still feel the same. Forget about it. I forget about it. We start talking about something else.
Yeah.
Then I remembered it.
Same feeling.
Time has passed. Passing of the time is within the duration of the feeling.
Yeah.
Feeling is not in time.
Mm-hmm.
So you realize, oh, it's the same feeling. I didn't even have to think about it. I just need to know it.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I remember, oh, it's still the same feeling.
Yeah.
So you were basically recollected throughout the day without making effort to be recollected, without thinking it. By whenever you remember it, so to speak, you remember the correct order. Which means nothing that's happening right now can uproot that order, cannot change that order. It's seen against the right light. And that's the whole point. So, and there again, I said many times, that's what Buddha said, you can't have too much of mindfulness. You can't have too much of the knowledge of what's already there. You can have too much of investigation, you can have too little of, I just can't think about anything, but you can't have too much of knowing that the right principle of mindfulness. The body is already there, the feeling is already there. Oh, the body is already there. Yeah, but not theoretically. The body is already there. Oh, the feeling is already there. Yes, so how do you feel? I feel pleasant. So that's already there. So within that pleasure now, all the intentions, everything you choose to do will be within that. Which means that type of feeling that's currently enduring for you will be influencing everything within it.
Yeah.
And that's not up to you. That kind of precedes your choice. That's the basis for your choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also how you stop being attached to pleasure. Because you realize, oh, it's not up to me. You're subjected to it. So pursuing it, can you pursue the pleasure unless it's for you?
No.
Unless it's for me to be felt. Unless you assume I'm first and that's the feeling that's my end goal.
Exactly.
But wait, I already feel the end goal as well. Oh. But I don't have it the way I want it or similar, which means, oh, so actually my pursuit of pleasure is rooted in already feeling the pain of not having it. So can I change the order of that pain by getting? No, it's impossible. It's inconceivable. It's second to this. It's always second to that. You wouldn't be able to pursue pleasure if you don't feel anything. I mean, that's inconceivable. So when do you perceive pleasure? When you want to escape the pain, and when you don't have enough of pleasure, which is painful. Not having enough of pleasure is painful. So you pursue pleasure when you feel pain. Yet here you are believe that your pursuit and accomplishment of pleasure is somehow going to kind of replace everything and stay with you because you created it. But the only reason you were even making the effort to create that pleasure is because you were subjected to the feeling in the first place. And that pleasure you're chasing is another feeling you're going to be subjected to.
Yeah.
So when you get the pleasure, you can't get the pleasure.
No, you can't get
You
it.
can make yourself subjected to pleasure. Make yourself subjected to pain. Yeah.
You may find that a certain feeling arises that you were hoping for.
Yeah, yeah. Or not.
But it might not.
Sometimes you pursue the same thing and oh, it doesn't feel the same
exactly.
anymore. Yeah. Sometimes, oh wow, I got so much pleasure from this, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You're always liable to feelings.
Yeah.
But for as long as you keep pursuing it in a manner of I'm first and I'm getting this, you maintain the order that you are first. And you remain completely oblivious to the fact that you are liable to it. And that's why you suffer. Not because of what you feel or how you feel it, it's because you just keep trying to
manage the feelings.
Well, you keep maintaining that discrepancy
Yeah.
of the assumption that I'm first and feeling you like, because each time you put yourself first, you imply that you're master of things, master of the body, master of the feeling, and when those things don't go the way you want them, you suffer because not because they didn't go the way you want, but because of your mastery caused the discrepancy that's felt as pain. You wouldn't suffer if somebody cuts down the tree and you sit back. You just wouldn't suffer.
Yeah.
So the act of cutting the
if
tree
you're-
is not the suffering.
But if someone cuts down the tree while you're trying to keep it up there and holding it there,
While you're climbed up at the top.
yeah.
So you come down,
You're fully
cutting of the
invested in
tree
it, yeah.
still occurs, but no emotional
Yeah.
result in you, no suffering. But if you refuse to give up the mastery, this is my tree, yeah, I don't care. By the time you come down, I'll already cut it. So you have a choice. You can remain like indignant and hold on to what's yours, but if it's truly yours, nobody could cut it. Nobody could uproot it. Nobody could destroy it. Is that really the fact here? The case is no. So it's just your own intoxication, like a drunk man. No, I can do this. I can fight 100 people, and I can win. And then you slip and fall by yourself, literally. So you choose to refuse to give it up, despite all the evidence that you should. Oh look, they're coming with the axes. Death, death, old age, sickness around me and so on. No. I'll keep that all aside. It's always going to stay for me because basically
that's
you imply you're in
practice.
charge. Yeah. Yeah. That's why even things like aging, death, sickness are not suffering in themselves.
No, it's
Chopping of the tree doesn't matter. It only matters if you're in it. That's like those arahants in the suttas when the Buddha died, when they said like, oh, when Sariputta died as well. So, I mean, of course, like, how can that which has arisen not pass? I mean, it's inconceivable to grieve. Like, that's impossible. It requires this extreme level of intoxication to grieve over death.
There's a verse somewhere in the Therigatha, something like indifferent towards life. It isn't that, but indifferent to life, indifferent to death.
Do you mean the one, I delight not in life?
That's it.
I delight not in death. I wait my time like hireling his wage. Yeah, literally says like, you're out, so there's nothing felt, regardless of whether the tree stays up for longer or not.
So to have a preference over whether I'm subjected to feelings or not is
the result of you already being subjected to
first.
feelings.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, you can't stop having a preference, but you can start seeing the right context of that preference, which is that, it's second to the already enduring feeling, which is why I prefer this over that. That's it.